Hey guys, you're listening to Vol. Just going to recap on a game that I played weeks ago that I've had backlogged for a while. The photography on it turned out to be quite nice, so I thought I'd just get round to finally doing it. This is a game against my buddy JJ, who plays Signar, and we're playing a Revelation scenario with the two flags in the centre, represented by those two little resin circles you've got there, which are normally base inserts, but are acting as flags for this game. I'm playing Epic Baldur. It's probably about my fourth or fifth game with Epic Baldur, I think. And he's much more comfortable for me at 50 points, although having said that, just about all of the games that I play and the lists that I come up with are more comfortable at 50 points. I really prefer that format. As you can see here, Epic Baldur is pretty much playing a tier list. The only tier he hasn't fulfilled is tier 4, because I've got the one Woldwyrd, and if I had a second one, I think I probably would fulfill the requirements. Druids, all of the normal Wolds, the Celestial Fulcrum, generally pretty good choices with Epic Baldur. He's got a couple of sets of shifting stones, just everything you feel comfortable with. Got the Blackclad in there as well. I feel the Blackclad's not too bad with either of the Baldurs because, with his little ability, Hunter's Mark, you can get your Wolds potentially charging a bit further, which is quite cool. Most of the time you'll be teleporting them or just, going in for a slugfest though. Celestial Fulcrum coming along with the paint job. As you can see, the light from the window streaming in has actually illuminated it a little bit more, but most of that is actual painted on source lighting, and I've gone for the sort of overblown, really tacky looking, half of the model is painted blue type thing, but, I'm happy with it. Next image, taking a look at JJ's force here. He's got Epic eNemo, which I believe he is proxying with eNemo, so although you'll see the eNemo model is actually playing as Epic eNemo. Generally a lot of Warjacks, but he's also included some Sword Knights in there as well. I'm not too sure why he's gone with the Sword Knights. I think just because generally it's very easy to get the flank going on, in this sort of situation, but, were it me, I think I'd probably pick something else, maybe a Defender or an Arc Node or something. I don't really know. I don't play Signar, so I can't really comment too much there. Next image, I believe JJ has got the first turn here, so he's running right up with his Sword Knights on the flank, and I believe putting Arcade and Shield on them as well. Jack's just moving forward very slowly. He's got a Cyclone in his army. First time I've actually encountered a Cyclone, despite it being a fairly common Jack. But he's able to put down some suppressing fire in the middle there. God knows why. I mean, I'm not going to actually move anywhere near there with my infantry, but I guess he's just testing out his guns. So that's the situation. I'm really going to have to take a bit of a beating from eNemo's guys, who can deliver quite a lot of punishment, but that's what Roots of the Earth is for. Next image, my first turn here, just moving forward. The Woldwyrd has run all the way over here to the hill because I felt like I'd misdeployed it, but everything else just moving up normally, and the Druids putting down the little screen. Luckily, I've actually got the Druid UA, thank God, for this game, because if I didn't, that Thunderhead would be able to wipe me out really, really easily. So, sometimes that Druid UA really just pays dividends having him there. Other times he's a waste, so, it's a bit of personal preference as to whether you include him in your lists. Really like this photo, by the way. It's quite nice doing the photography during the daytime at my house, because the lighting from the rest of the room and the windows obviously really works out. Next image, turn 2 for Signar, and JJ has decided to make a pretty ballsy play with his Stormclad. Charging in here at one of my Druids and shield bashing it, but also the plan here is for him to actually eliminate the Druid Overseer with his sword. Unfortunately, though, for JJ, it means that his Stormclad actually has to come into the clouds where he's -2 to hit. Although he did actually boost the hit roll against the Druid Overseer, he's going up against Defense 16, and really, really unluckily with his 3 dice actually managed to miss him and failed to kill him. So that means he's actually going to have to endure more than one more round worth of elemental immunity, which is a pain for him, and of course his Stormclad itself is going to be vulnerable to a counterattack from my beasts. Next image, the Sword Knights have actually run in here and begun to engage the Celestial Fulcrum, which, could be a good or a bad thing depending on their perspective. Of course, Arcane Shield is up. They've got defensive line, so my guns here on the Fulcrum, are going to be a little bit hard-pressed to get the damage done, but we'll see how it goes. He's also moved one of his Stormcallers into base-to-base with the objective. This particular objective has a little 1 dice on it, which just represents the fact that that's the objective we're going for first in this scenario. He's also moved up with his Centurion and his Stormclad, his Cyclone behind the obstruction there. So things looking reasonably good for Signar, but we'll have a look at the next photo. This one just shows a Stormcaller running through the forest here. They don't have Pathfinder as far as I know. In fact, I know that they don't, but he's trying to get some triangulation going. So with the 3 Stormcallers throughout the battlefield, hopefully we'll be able to get some damage done with them. With eNemo, they are Command 9 or Ability 9, whatever it is, when they're making their rolls. So they're quite reliable, quite a good choice in the eNemo list in my opinion. Next image, Circle Orboros turn 2, using the stones to teleport my Woldguardian. Stones and Woldguardians, one of the better synergies in Circle, really teleporting him a long way, and of course makes up for his very, very low movement. What's really cool about this situation is that I can actually keep ramming that Centurion all the way until I'm actually in range of that objective to contest it, which ought to be awesome. And this is going to be a feat turn for me, so it'll put the Woldguardian up to armor 23, I think, so he should be able to survive a beating from those jacks nearby, but I'll be knocking his guys down as well, which should be cool. Next image, in the other side of the field here, I've actually got the Woldwarden moving up here. The plan was basically to hit the Stormclad 3 times and smite him into the wall, but I think I actually rolled a double 1 on one of my attack rolls. Always happens with the stupid Woldwarden. Can never get the combo smite going unless I boost all of the attack rolls, which I should have, my mistake. So that didn't work out very well. The Woldwyrd shooting at the storm dude in the background, Thunderhead, sorry, 3 times with his Purgation. Of course, the fail-safe Thunderhead obviously very, very tough, so not really getting very much damage done with my 2 boosted and extra damage dice attacks, but still had a crack at it. Baldur is up to 2 worm tokens now. I'm deciding not to remove them because once the Stormclad beats down the Woldwarden, as long as Baldur is actually still alive, that is, I should be able to go in and actually start smashing him with Tritus. The Druids shifting further to the left-hand side of the field, just to try and get some push-pull force bolts and hopefully like a crit knockdown on that Thunderhead. The Overseer is still in play, mind you, so I'm going to be safe from that Thunderhead for quite some time. And Megalith, I believe, using Geomancy, Undergrowth, whatever he's doing in there, just to clear up a whole bunch of Sword Knights, I think was his little deal in the middle. Next image, Baldur activates Last and pops his feet, as you need to do if you're feating, and he puts down a rock wall. He's got Undergrowth up and Roots of the Earth obviously on himself. He's got 2 transfers. As you guys can see, I have actually left an assassination run opened for the Stormclad. So what eNemo could do is actually move up and get the Stormclad actually attacking me here. I don't think he can get the Lightning Shroud on him though, so that's a pain. And essentially what he's going to have to be contending with is trying to hit Baldur with all that armor on him and 2 transfers, but he can do it. If he's got 3 3 focus on him, which Nemo can easily give him, what he might be able to do is actually either find somewhere to kill the Druids and so forth in front of him, or just trample over there to that gap, because it looks like there might be a gap for him between that stone and the Druids and the wall, and just attack Baldur over the wall. The thing is that he could easily miss one of his attacks, and if he misses more than one, that assassination run's not going to work. So after a lot of umming and ahhing from both parties, we decided that the Stormclad wasn't going to go in after all, and Baldur was going to be safe. Next image, Signar trying to get some beatdowns happening. Of course, this is the feat turn though, so a lot of the circle stuff is going to be very, very well protected. Elemental protection is still up, but the Centurion and the Cyclone going to be wailing down on the Woldguardian, who manages to survive, and the Woldwarden obviously taking a lot of hits from the Stormclad as well, and with the feet helping, but still only armor 21. Next image, the Cyclone trying to get into the rear of the Woldguardian as well, and just putting the beat down on them. A lot of damage done here because this is eNemo's feet turn, and both jacks spending 3 focus worth of punching, so he's got to get some damage through. Next image, the so the Thunderhead, I believe, might have been knocked down by one of the Druid pools, but regardless of that, he's been stood up and he's moved around here and doing some shooting, I think. I can't quite remember what the situation was, whether he was shooting into combat or just trying to move around and charge or attack, but I don't remember him being in a very good position. It's kind of annoying having to do this battle report a few weeks after the actual fact, but I know that the Thunderhead was not very effective this game just due to positioning and the events that cropped up. Next image, the Woldguardian, I believe, has lost some aspects, but is still up in the battlefield, so what happens next is Megalith actually moves over here to crush the, or at least do a lot of damage to the Cyclone. I actually managed to wipe out all of the Sword Knights now somehow, I guess just from the help of Megalith and the Blackclad as well as the Celestial Fulcrum, putting all of its firepower on them with the boosted damage rolls. And a little bit of luck too, actually, destroying those guys. Next image, the Blackclad moves over to the objective to score from it, and I'm able to do that from the help of Baldur healing up the Woldguardian a little bit and having him turn around and just use his ramrod things to smash the the Centurion away from the objective and knock him down and really cripple him. Megalith has managed to dispose of the Cyclone, who I believe had already been punched quite badly from the Woldguardian earlier. Can't 100% remember, but ended up being a situation where I picked up a control point. Next image, Baldur again moving further back next to the Fulcrum, putting the wall up, and just definitely getting to a situation here where there's no way he can get one of the jacks over. Even with Energize, he won't really be able to get a jack into a position where he can attack around the wall. It's going to have to be over the wall, and Baldur sitting pretty. He's got 3 worm tokens now, and Roots of the Earth on himself. Next image, just a bit of a zoom out. Signar have managed to destroy the Woldwarden. After the feet turn went down, is sitting duck. Still got plenty of shifting stones in play by the looks, but sending one of them over to the secondary objective just to contest it for a while. In the meantime, I'm picking up a point, and the Druids have been reduced to only several of their number. There's been a Stormcaller sneaking through the woods, and he has destroyed the Druid Overseer now, but the Druids really have just slowed down that left-hand flank long enough for me to really clean up the right-hand flank, pick up a point, and generally feel myself into good position. eNemo has used his feet now, so that's something I don't have to worry about, and I've still got the Fulcrum sitting around. So next image, what happens here is that Megalith is able to move his way, or maybe even got teleported his way over here to the Thunderhead, did some serious damage on it, and the Woldwyrd has just been blasting it every single turn. I believe the Stormclad has been destroyed somehow or brought out of the picture. I can't quite remember what happened here, maybe sniped by the Fulcrum, but at any rate Megalith moves in and does some serious damage on the Thunderhead. And if you go to the next photo, what happens here is Baldur, with his, I think, 4 worm tokens at this point, charges the Thunderhead and crushes it with his massive sword. The Signar forces don't have anything nearby that can actually take advantage of his weakened situation and come and assassinate him. So my opponent ended up conceding the game. He was down 2 control points to nothing, and I still had several beasts, or a couple of important beasts up and running, and of course a better battlefield situation. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I quite like the photos and the photography, and obviously fun game. Always enjoy playing against JJ. And see you next time.